The mysterious signal. Commander Wyatt Staples stared at the flickering console, his heart pounding in his chest. The signal was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there. Something in the far reaches of space was calling out, something unknown. The ship's AI confirmed it wasn't of human origin, which only heightened the tension in the command center. This was it, the moment every space explorer both feared and yearned for: first contact. As the crew burst with excitement and apprehension, Commander Staples tried to maintain his composure. He ordered the ship to approach the source of the signal, knowing that whatever awaited them could change the course of human history. The vast emptiness of space seemed to close in around them as the ship edged closer, the unknown looming like a shadow over their mission. The signal grew stronger, more complex, as if it were alive, pulsating with an intelligence that defied understanding. The ship's sensors detected a massive structure in the distance, shrouded in darkness. As they neared, the structure revealed itself. A black ship unlike anything they had ever seen. It was vast, ominous, and completely alien. The ship's exterior was smooth, without visible weapons or engines, just a black void that absorbed light. Commander Staples ordered the ship to halt at a safe distance, his mind racing with possibilities. Was this an ancient relic or an active vessel? Friend or foe? There were no answers, only questions. A voice crackled through the communication channel, not from any known language, but from the ship itself. The AI struggled to translate the message, and when it finally did, the words sent chills down Staples' spine. "We have been waiting for you." Into the unknown. The black ship began to move, its surface rippling like liquid metal. It was alive, or at least controlled by a living intelligence far beyond human comprehension. The crew watched in silence as the alien vessel drew nearer, its intentions unclear. The ship's AI detected no life forms aboard the black ship, yet it was undoubtedly responding to their presence. Commander Staples knew he had to act quickly. They were on the brink of an encounter that could either bring humanity to new heights or lead to its annihilation. With a deep breath, Staples initiated first contact protocols, broadcasting a message of peace and cooperation. The black ship responded instantly, a beam of light shooting out and enveloping the human vessel. The crew braced for impact, but instead, they found themselves drifting into the unknown, drawn into the heart of the alien ship. Inside the alien vessel, the crew was engulfed in darkness as the human ship was pulled into the black void. The view outside was obscured, leaving them in a void of silence and shadows. Commander Staples felt a creeping unease as they floated in the alien ship's interior, waiting for something to happen. The ship's AI reported that all systems were functional, but the environment outside their hull was beyond analysis. It was as if they had entered a different dimension, where the laws of physics were altered or suspended entirely. Suddenly, lights flickered on, illuminating a vast chamber around them. The walls were smooth and metallic, yet they pulsed with a strange energy. Symbols and patterns began to form, glowing with a soft light that seemed to communicate a message. The ship's AI struggled to decode the symbols, finding no match in any known database. As the crew stared in awe, a doorway opened in the chamber's far wall, leading deeper into the alien ship, the orb of knowledge. Commander Staples knew they had to explore further, despite the risks. This was humanity's first opportunity to learn from an advanced civilization, and they couldn't let fear hold them back. Equipped with protective suits and advanced scanners, Staples led a small team through the doorway. The corridor beyond was wide and seemed to stretch on forever, lined with the same glowing symbols that adorned the chamber. There was a sense of purpose in the design, as if the ship itself was guiding them. The further they ventured, the more the atmosphere changed. The air grew thick with an unfamiliar scent, and the walls began to hum with energy. The ship was alive, and it was watching them. They reached another chamber, this one smaller but filled with strange devices. At the center was a pedestal with an orb floating above it, emitting a soft, pulsating light. Staples felt drawn to it, as if it were calling out to him specifically. The ship's AI warned of an energy spike, but Staples couldn't resist. He reached out and touched the orb, and in that instant, his mind was flooded with images, memories of a civilization long gone, of wars fought across galaxies, and of the Black Ship's creation as a last refuge. The orb contained the collective knowledge of an ancient race preserved for eons, waiting for someone worthy to discover it. Staples realized that they were chosen, that humanity had a role to play in the continuation of this legacy. But the images also carried a warning, an impending threat that was coming for them, for Earth, and for everything they held dear. The Black Ship had been a fortress, a guardian against an ancient enemy that was now awakening. The awakening threat. The return to their ship was tense, the crew uneasy with the knowledge imparted by the orb. Commander Staples could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. They had uncovered the remnants of a once great civilization, but with it came the knowledge of an enemy so powerful it had driven that civilization to extinction. The Black Ship's purpose was now clear. It was a last bastion, a final line of defense against an ancient force that sought to consume all life. The orb's warning was unmistakable. The enemy was stirring, and it was only a matter of time before it found them. Back on their own ship, Staples called an emergency meeting. The crew was divided, some wanting to return to Earth to prepare a defense, others arguing they should attempt to learn more about the enemy before it was too late. The debate was fierce, but Staples knew they had little time to waste. In the end, they decided on a risky plan. They would stay within the Black Ship, using its advanced technology to gather as much information as possible. They hoped to uncover a weakness in the enemy's defenses or find a way to bolster Earth's own. But time was against them. The Black Ship's sensors detected an anomaly in the far reaches of the system, a disturbance that could only mean one thing: the enemy was awakening, preparing for battle. The crew worked tirelessly, combing through the data provided by the orb, deciphering the alien technology, and preparing for the inevitable confrontation. The tension on the ship was palpable, each crew member driven by the knowledge that failure was not an option. As they delved deeper into the Black Ship's systems, they began to understand the scale of what they were facing. The enemy was not just a single force, but a horde of entities, each more powerful and destructive than anything humanity had ever encountered. But they also found hope. The ancient civilization had not gone down without a fight. They had left behind powerful weapons and defenses, hidden within the Black Ship, waiting to be activated by those who were worthy. Staples and his team began the process of unlocking these weapons, their minds racing against the clock. The ship's AI assisted them, translating the complex commands and guiding them through the process. But the enemy was drawing closer, and they knew they were running out of time. Finally, they succeeded. The Black Ship's systems roared to life, its weapons charging, its defenses activating. They had done it. They had unlocked the last line of defense against the ancient enemy. But as the ship prepared for battle, a message appeared on the console, a final warning from the ancient civilization. To awaken the enemy is to awaken the end. Prepare yourselves, for the war that is coming will decide the fate of all. The final stand. The Black Ship surged with energy as its weapon systems powered up, the crew bracing themselves for the coming battle. Commander Staples could feel a tension in the air, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. This was it, the moment they had been preparing for, the battle that would determine the fate of humanity. The enemy appeared on the ship's sensors, a massive fleet of ships emerging from the darkness of space. They were unlike anything the crew had ever seen, their forms twisted and alien, their energy signatures off the charts. This was the force that had driven an entire civilization to extinction, and now it was coming for them. Staples gave the order to fire, and the Black Ship's weapons roared to life. Beams of energy shot out, striking the enemy ships with devastating force. But the enemy was relentless, their ships swarming forward, closing the distance with terrifying speed. The crew fought bravely, manning their stations and coordinating the ship's defenses, but the enemy was overwhelming, their numbers too great, their power too immense. A new dawn. The Black Ship trembled under the relentless assault, its shields barely holding against the overwhelming enemy forces. Commander Staples stood firm on the bridge, the weight of humanity's future pressing down on him. The crew fought valiantly, but the sheer numbers of the enemy ships threatened to overwhelm them. Explosions rocked the ship, and alarms blared throughout the vessel as critical systems began to fail. Staples knew they were on the brink of defeat. The ancient enemy, a force so powerful it had annihilated an entire civilization, was bearing down on them with unyielding fury. The crew's morale was fraying, and desperation hung thick in the air. The Black Ship's weapons fired continuously, but for every enemy vessel they destroyed, more seemed to take its place. Suddenly, the orb in Staples' quarters began to glow with an intense light, brighter than before. It pulsed in sync with the ship's energy core, almost as if it was communicating with the vessel itself. The AI detected the anomaly and reported an unprecedented surge of power flowing through the ship's systems. Staples rushed to the orb, drawn by its energy. As he touched the orb, images flooded his mind once more, this time more vivid, more urgent. He saw the ancient race, the creators of the Black Ship, standing at the edge of extinction. But instead of despair, there was a glimmer of hope in their final moments. They had hidden one last secret within the ship, a failsafe designed to activate only in the most desperate circumstances. The vision showed Staples how to access this failsafe, a command buried deep within the ship's core. It was a weapon of unimaginable power, capable of wiping out the enemy fleet in one decisive strike. But there was a cost. Activating the failsafe would drain the ship's energy completely, leaving them stranded in space with no way to return to Earth. Staples returned to the bridge, his mind made up. He knew the risks, but there was no other choice. He explained the situation to his crew, and though the fear was palpable, they trusted him. They had come this far together, and they would face the end together if it came to that. "Prepare to activate the failsafe," Staples ordered. The crew worked swiftly, inputting the complex commands as the ship shook violently from another barrage. The enemy fleet was closing in, their massive ships looming ominously on the viewscreen. As the final sequence was entered, a deep rumble resonated through the Black Ship. The vessel's exterior began to glow, radiating energy as the failsafe powered up. The enemy seemed to sense the impending threat, their attacks intensifying in a last-ditch effort to stop them. Staples stood at the center of the bridge, his eyes fixed on the viewscreen. The ship's AI counted down the final seconds. The enemy fleet was almost upon them. "Now," Staples shouted. A blinding light erupted from the Black Ship, a wave of energy that rippled through space. The enemy ships were caught in the blast, their forms disintegrating as the energy tore through them. One by one, they vanished into the void, leaving nothing behind but the remnants of their destruction. As the light faded, the bridge fell silent. The Black Ship had done it. The ancient enemy was defeated, but the victory was bittersweet. The ship's energy reserves were depleted, and they were adrift in the darkness of space, far from home. The crew gathered around Staples, their expressions a mix of relief and uncertainty. They had survived, but the future was uncertain. The ship's AI confirmed their dire situation. Without power, they had no way to contact Earth or navigate back to safety. The orb's glow had dimmed, its purpose fulfilled. Staples looked out into the vast expanse of space, his thoughts heavy with the sacrifices that had been made. But as he stood there, a new resolve formed within him. They had faced an unimaginable threat and emerged victorious. Humanity's spirit had triumphed against the odds, and as long as they had that, they could overcome any challenge. "Prepare for emergency protocols," Staples ordered, determination in his voice. "We're not giving up. We'll find a way home." The crew responded with a renewed sense of purpose. They were explorers, survivors, and now, the bearers of a legacy that would forever change humanity's place in the universe. As they worked to stabilize the ship and explore every possibility, a faint signal crackled over the comms. It was weak, but unmistakably human. "Commander Staples, this is Earth Command. "We've received your distress signal. Hold tight, we're coming to get you." A wave of relief swept over the bridge. They weren't alone. Earth had been watching, and now they were on their way to rescue them. The crew cheered, their spirits lifted by the promise of salvation. Staples smiled, the weight of his responsibilities lifting just slightly. They had faced the darkness and won. Now they would return to Earth, carrying with them the knowledge of the Black Ship and the hope of a new dawn for humanity. As the ship drifted in the silence of space, a new journey began, one that would take them home and, eventually, to the stars beyond.